South India's biggest influencer.
Tamil being a very interesting language and a community because the internet penetration is crazy.
He's demystifying issues that resonate with the youth.
The competition is always healthy because your audience is your audience. No matter how many subscribers someone has, they are not actually competing with you.
NewsX Influencer A-List proudly recognizes Madan Gowri for influence in educational content creation.
Hello and welcome. You're joining us on NewsX Influencer A-List. With us today is one of South India's most prominent YouTubers. He makes videos, YouTube videos in Tamil mostly, and we want to understand from him what his journey has been like and a new application, in fact, that he's gone ahead and started. So firstly, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, Madan, and a very warm welcome to NewsX.
Thank you, Baby. It's a pleasure joining you actually in this program.
All right. So firstly, tell us, what is the Tamil YouTube space like? Because we talk about the English space and the Hindi space, but we don't quite understand the regional YouTube space or the regional content creation bit as much. What is the space like, Madan? If you could tell us a little about that.
I think it's a great place to be in actually because the competition is very healthy. At the same time, what I feel is the internet penetration in Tamil Nadu is really high compared to other states. It's what I feel like. I can literally see the numbers there. So I have seen creators, who speak Hindi and have subscribers up to 20 million. So that's the number in Hindi. And Tamil Nadu is one state and Tamil is one language that is spoken by one ethnic group, but still we have I have 5 million subscribers, and I know Tamil channels that has more than 10 million subscribers.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting for me to look at these numbers, comparing Hindi, such a huge language with so much population there. And Tamil being a very interesting language and a community because the internet penetration is crazy.
So do you think that you ever have a disadvantage, Madan, the fact that you do only, your videos are mostly Tamil, right, on YouTube. Do you think that you have some sort of a disadvantage sometimes or absolutely not, is that something that never crosses your mind?
I think it's both. It's both. I have advantages and I have my own disadvantages. The advantage is that no matter how good someone creates content in Hindi, that would penetrate into Tamil. So that's my space. At the same time, I won't cross that space. So both are there. I think it's similar to Bollywood and Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So no matter how great a movie is, unless or otherwise you dub it and you push it through, it might not be a huge thing in Tamil Nadu. And same way, even a Tamil movie made here has to be dubbed and pushed in Hindi so that it's seen. So the market is it's good that both exist. And if probably I was a Punjabi or a Marathi or a Bengali, I think I won't have this many subscribers. People would probably switch to some Hindi, speaking YouTuber. So I think it has its own advantage and disadvantage.
So the space, the digital media, the digital content creation space, Madan, you're one of the front runners, of course, when it comes to the Tamil space. The competition, the kind of competition that you have, is it, is it as much that you would have if, let's say, you were an English YouTuber, English-speaking YouTuber, or is it lesser? What is the competition like in this space?
I think in internet, the competition is always healthy because your audience is your audience. No matter how many subscribers someone has, they're not actually competing with you because videos are probably, 10 to 15 minutes in length and people have 24 hours and it's free of cost. Movies having competition makes sense because it's 150 rupees and who's going to take that weekend actually is a competition. But in YouTube, I don't think that kind of competition actually exists.
So how long did it take you to monetize your channel from when you started? How many years did it take you to start earning full time from YouTube?
I started monetizing my videos almost after 100 videos. That would be probably 4 or 5 months. But I never really wanted to be a YouTuber as such because when I started making videos on YouTube, there was nothing called as YouTuber. There were people who posted videos on YouTube, that's all.
Yeah.
But eventually I understood that you can make money out of it. You can make a living out of it actually. First it was making money. It was a side income. Then I understood that you can actually make a living out of it. And maybe it took me another 3 years journey to be there.
Hmm. And you do news, right? You do news and current affairs. How did that come
I
about?
do news commentary. I don't actually say the news. I do commentary
Yeah.
on the news.
Yeah, you do commentary on the news. So how did you exactly decide to start doing that? Because that is something that is very interesting. Usually when you think about people that talk about current affairs, you think there's going to be a video on XY that is happening, but you've taken a different route. How did that work out, and how do you go about that?
Yeah, since I post videos every day, I realized that people started looking at me as a friend rather than as a creator. So it's like you wake up and you cross this one person in front of your house, you smile the 10th time you cross them. So same way they see me every day, and it was good. Even I talk to them every day. So then when COVID happened, actually this whole thing started last year, 2020, right? Until then I was not actually giving commentary on news. But when that happened, there was something happening every day.
Hmm.
Suddenly, a whole country is shut up. Suddenly, you can't go out, and these were burning issues. So when I started doing those videos, people actually started connecting with me more. So then I realized, why not?
Okay, and we were just talking about the fact that it took you, let's say, 100 videos, I think you said, right, to start monetizing your content. And now, congratulations to you, Madan. You have your own app that you've started. You have your own startup. It's called Kokru, from what I understand. Tell us about that a little bit. Has YouTube kind of helped you go into that startup space as well? How has this worked out?
Yes, actually, when just as I said, when Corona happened, right, when COVID started, the whole world was under lockdown, and we suddenly started consuming news more than ever.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create content based on that, and I was probably referring to 20 to 30 different sites.
Hmm.
And it's always tough to look things on laptop. So probably I would prefer an application. So I was searching for the perfect application,
Yeah.
which I did not find. And I was actually having a conversation with one of my friend, Prem, from LMES. That's a startup in Tamil Nadu. So it's an education startup. So I was telling him that there must be some app that actually helps us get news that we need directly to us, and it should also be from different sources, and we should be able to probably understand what people think about that news. We don't want someone to say us, we want to understand it directly. So a lot of these conversations happened with Prem, and suddenly he said, Madan, we can actually give it a go, we can try probably building one. And yeah, that's how we spent another 1 year actually on building that application. And yeah, we launched it recently, and it has been on top. Actually, it was in top one for almost 3 or 4 days in both the App Store and Play Store. And then again, it's still now in top five. So yeah, it's a good thing that we started doing it.
Okay, and how is it different from other contemporary apps, that are, let's say, giving out news in short sentences or etc. We know a couple of those exist out there. How is yours dramatically different from those?
So when you look at other applications, first you have a lot of advertisements. It's very cluttery. When you get inside an app, you feel like what is going on, because we use Instagram, we use Facebook, and we look at a news app. It's so cluttered. We don't want that clutter feel, because we are exposed to all these high-end applications made in different parts of the world. So first thing we wanted to be very clear is it should not be cluttered. Second thing is all the existing news applications. They have a write-up minimum about the topic, but the millennial generation, the Gen Z, we don't have time for it. We want to know what's it in a line. So we are so used to WhatsApp, we are so used to a caption under an Instagram photo. So we thought this application Cobra actually gives you the whole context of a news in a line. So if you want to further read it, you click on that line and the source of the news opens up. So by that way, we also helping the news vendors actually monetize their content.
Right.
So once it goes there, they can place their own advertisements as they do on their website. Their website actually opens up. We don't steal their content. So we create a path for their content to be publicized. At the same time, we create a platform where the readers are actually happy, and the vendors, the news vendors, are also happy.
Okay.
So also the most important thing is we have a reaction feature in the application.
Okay.
So for every news, irrespective of some anchor saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing, you understand what people actually think right below. So the public sentiment. Immediately you see a set of thumbs up or thumbs down. So you know how people are actually reacting to the news rather than someone pushing it into you. So yeah, democratizing the news was actually a big thing in this app.
Okay, all right. And before we let you go, Madan, and we would have to continue having this conversation, but we're out of time. So I want to ask you one last question. For those people that are just starting out, that are just that want to do content such as yours, what is the one suggestion that you have for them?
Be consistent. I think that's one thing. I know a lot of creators who started budding during pandemic. They started probably posting 10 videos, 20 videos. They didn't get the views they thought they would get. Then they stopped doing it. I think they should probably continue doing it. Eventually, they will get those numbers.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Madan, for being with us on NewsX Influencer A-List, and it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you, buddy. It's a pleasure.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.